It's a stampede of leaks. From the new Jumanji film, we're finally starting to see what the movie's all about today on Nerdist News. When you hear Jumanji, you probably think fish out of water story about a couple of kids getting trapped in a jungle board game that also serves as Robin Williams' house, right? Right. So, with a brand new Squeakquel finally filming, we'd all kind of assumed it would follow a similar arc to the original. But within the last week, more details have started to pour in about Jumanji, including some very charming behind-the-scenes Instagrams from the stars, and it sounds like Sony might be taking a different approach. It was a pretty big surprise when the first photos of The Rock, Karen Gillan, Jack Black, and Kevin Hart were released last week alongside their shockingly over-the-top cartoony names, Dr. Bravestone, Ruby Roundhouse, Professor Shelley Oberon, and Moose Finbar. So hey, we figured maybe Jumanji would actually be a reverse Jumanji flick, with 4 lead characters native to the wild world of Jumanji getting accosted by some kids who get trapped inside the game with them. We even got a tweet from The Rock himself just a few days ago introducing us to the Jumanji Juniors who recently joined the cast: Sir Darius Blaine, Morgan Turner, Alex Wolff, and Madison Eisman. And with Johnson promising this film would be a continuation of the awesome Jumanji story that even paid tribute to Robin Williams' iconic performance, we figured, all right, guess these are the kooky kids who dug the board game up after it was buried at the end of Jumanji Prime. But this weekend, all of our assumptions were chucked into a flaming assumption pyre as Mashable's Jeff Snyder tweeted the movie's first completely insane plot details. Quoth in Snyder, Jumanji sequel said to follow 4 teens in detention who get sucked into the game where they take on new avatar forms to locate a jewel. So, all right, got it. This is kind of like a Breakfast Club meets Jumanji mashup film, and the kids have avatars, so could the sequel be taking place inside a Jumanji video game? I mean, possibly. That's a totally reasonable assumption to make. But if these A-listers are just the in-game avatars of our Jumanji Juniors, then who's playing as whom? Only one has been confirmed so far. Alex Wolff's avatar will be The Rock's Dr. Bravestone, and you may have noticed that we've got a 50-50 Jumanji Junior gender divide, but a 25% female Jumanji senior group. Well, there's a rumor that one of the girls will be controlling Jack Black's Professor Shelley, so there's something to look forward to there. Now, we're still unclear on the mechanics here, like whether the Jumanji Juniors will control their avatars from the real world or find themselves transported into the video game alongside them, which doesn't appear to be the case since we haven't seen the younger actors in the set videos, or whether they'll have to share bodies interspace style. But either way, it definitely sounds like this follow-up will ditch the fish-out-of-water humor that made the original so fun. On the other hand, it should be pretty hilarious to see Kevin Hart and company play teenagers in adult bodies. And the fact that the main characters are all avatars might also explain Karen Gillan's costume in the film. As you may have noticed, it shows off a pretty fair amount of skin for someone traversing a deadly jungle, while most of the men are layered up. But last week, Gillan tweeted, "Yes, I'm wearing child-sized clothes, and yes, there is a reason. The payoff is worth it, I promise." And while that might mean she's just being controlled by a horny teenage boy, The Hollywood Reporter had some pretty great theories of their own, like she was teleported into the jungle from a Michael Bay movie, which I could see as being completely legit. Check out the full list because it's actually pretty funny. Now, we've got less than a year until Jumanji is released, so hopefully we'll hear more about the movie's weird new video gamey plot soon. But in the meantime, what do you guys think? Does the potential video gaming of Jumanji sound forced to you? Much like that word. Do you think it's a solid way to push the franchise into the future? Will these avatars have a mind of their own or be totally controlled by the detention teens? Does The Rock ever sleep? No, he doesn't. Let's discuss. Make sure you head on over to Nerdist.com/Twitch at 3 p.m. today, where we'll dive deeper into Jumanji and other stories that we loved. If you haven't joined us live before, you guys are really missing out, which is sad. It makes me sad. I've got a Chobot sad. Aww. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to keep getting all of your Nerdist news. Aww.